when that happens, you're going to need to go to your site listing. So you'll need to find your site listing by using the number that I've given you for yourself. So right now I'm going to go to site listing 01, which is where my example is. But again, I will give you your actual site listing to figure out what it is later on. So here we see our entry, and there's still a bunch of stuff missing. So what we're going to do is we're going to enter our password again, reservation. Once you do that, you're then going to be able to edit the entry, which is right here. So this will allow you to edit the information in the entry. In particular here, what we need to do, oh, I should have said there's no observable threats, or no, it was university encroachment, I believe. The first thing I need to do is to add the picture. So again, theoretically, if you're doing this out in the field, you'll be able to just take the picture and immediately upload it. But let's imagine for a minute that you're doing this remotely, or maybe when you're out in the field you have limited bandwidth. Then what you would want to do is then upload the pictures from here. So let's find my work pictures. You can tell I have a lot of albums here. Sorry about that. Come on. Where are you, album? Survey example. It was right at the top. Great. So you'll want to use that 3/4 front shot. That's the real one that you need. The others you can add if you need them, but please don't feel obligated. So if there's an addition that looks interesting, if there's a piece of the house that looks like it's about to fall down that you're concerned about, if there's maybe a shed or a garage that looks interesting. So not just the existence of a shed or garage, but that it looks really interesting. Then and only then you would add that as well. But in most of these cases, just a single 3/4 front view should be sufficient. And I apologize this is taking so long to upload, but that's okay. We're going to keep going and hopefully it'll load okay. So then you'll put in the potential NR eligibility. So actually, you know what, before I do that, we're going to add the sketch of the site as well. So again, go into the photo library, go into my albums. Here we go. There's the sketch. This is one of the reasons why it's super important for you to put the address on the sketch to make sure that you don't screw it up and put the wrong house, especially because in a neighborhood like this one, the houses tend to look extremely similar, if not identical. This is also when you would add in the construction date. So this is information that you're going to collect obviously from another source, which is archival source. We will talk about this in a later class, but let's imagine for a minute that you've already figured out the construction date. I don't even know what it is for this house. Let's say it's like, I don't know, let's say 1945. Doesn't matter. When you enter the construction date, it should always be 4 digits. In fact, this form should not allow you to put in anything else. Then you would want to say what your evidence of the construction date is. Where did you find this information? In this case, I just pulled it out of thin air. So, but in general, you would want to explain where you found this information. Did you find it from building permits? Did you find it from deeds, etc.? Again, we will talk about that later. Finally, if there's other stuff that hasn't come in on any other category that seems relevant, that's where you'd want to put it. So in this case, you know, I don't think there's anything all that salient to say. But in other cases, let's say a house is literally identical to every house around it, you would want to say that somewhere. It doesn't matter where you say it, but you'd want to say it somewhere. All right, and then you would want to say, is this eligible for the National Register? And in your case, really, there's only 2 options. It's contributing or it's non-contributing. Is it more than 50 years old and in reasonable condition? Not too many alterations? I'd say it's contributing. Is it younger than 50 years old or has had extensive alterations? Then it's non-contributing. In this case, I'd say yes, this one's contributing. Then you would click submit. All right. And then you would want to check and make sure that all the information is there. So now we have a sketch. So when we click on it, there it is. It's the correct address. We've got the 3/4 front view. It's correct. In this case, I don't need any additional photos. Notice how all of the fields have information. There is no empty field. This is super, super, super important. There should never be an empty field. An empty field means you missed something. This is one of the main reasons that we use an online form instead of using something like a paper form. It's to make sure that we don't have those errors. So double and triple check every entry. There should not be any empty fields at all. At this point, you are done with this particular entry and you can move on to the next one. And that's it. I'm sure you'll have lots of questions when we have class, but I believe this tutorial is now over. Thanks.